Welcome back to a Mirror Dungeon Duo video. Today we're doing the Ring Fauvist Docent, Rodion, and the Ring Fauvist Student, Meursault Duo. We're going to extreme mode today. I intend to talk a little about the second half of my setup upgrade. The first part is in my Ring House of Spiders Duo video, so check that video out after this one if you wish to learn more. Timestamps will be provided in case you wish to skip some of my yapping. So let's address the elephant in the room, my microphone quality. If you've been watching my videos for some time now, you would have immediately realized I sounded different. Hopefully it sounds better to you instead of worse. The mic quality from my old mic is getting unacceptable in my opinion, and I noticed a weird hissing noise in the background of my voice recordings. If you listen closely to the audio in my Ring House of Spiders Duo, you can hear when exactly I stopped talking from the lack of a hissing noise. Oh, and here's audio from my old mic in case you want a refresher on what it sounds like. So I decided to eat into my food budget, pun intended, a little and spent around $90 on a new mic. Note that all prices stated in this video have been converted to US dollars and that none of the products I'm talking about are affiliated to or have sponsored me. This is purely my unbiased opinion of the products. The mic is called the fine K688CT. The CT in the name basically means the mic comes with a boom arm. Without the CT at the back, it only comes with the same mic but with a generic stand. I bought the one with a boom arm since I like to move the mic around and because the stand would likely be too short for me. See, I'm a very vertically fortunate person, standing at around 190 centimeters, or for you Americans, around 38 cheeseburgers tall. Nah, I'm kidding. Here's the conversion to feet. So if I were using the included stand, I would likely need to bend at my desk a little for my mic to pick up my voice properly, and that's not too great for my back. Also, the boom arm allows me to lean back against my chair and still be heard, since I can just drag it along with me. But if I wanted to do that with a stand, then I would need a free hand to carry the mic with me. And I don't know about you, but I don't have a free third hand lying around to carry a mic for me, while I'm using a keyboard with one hand and using a mouse with my other hand. So, why did I pick this mic specifically? Well, one reason is the price to performance value. For around $90, this sounds amazing out of the box. The voice recording you're hearing right now has zero audio work done to it. Maybe some volume tweaks while editing, but that's about it. The second reason I picked this mic is because of the two different ways I could plug this mic into my device. The first way is through USB-C, which I'm sure most of you have heard of. It's likely the port your phone or your laptop is using to charge or transfer data with. And then there's the second way to connect, which is called XLR, which most of you have likely never heard of, so I'll briefly explain what XLR is. I will provide some YouTube videos in the description in case you wish to learn more about it. XLR is a type of connection. The usual configuration looks something like this, with pins sticking out. 3-pin is most commonly used for audio signals, like a microphone. A 3-pin XLR is what my mic has. I won't explain why, since it'll take too long, but XLR is quite a lot more reliable than USB-C at carrying signals. 3-pin XLR cables commonly plug into a device called an audio interface. Audio interfaces basically take real-world sound and convert it into a digital signal your computer can understand. Real-world sound inputs can come from a microphone, like, this one. The audio interface allows you to adjust the gain of your audio and some other stuff I couldn't be bothered to list or research. Oh, also, gain isn't equal to volume, but I don't feel confident enough to explain the differences, so I'll leave a few links in the description about that. So, what's my point in telling you all this? Well, you see, having USB-C means I can plug directly into my laptop instead of going through an audio interface. And an audio interface in some XLR cables could cost me hundreds or even thousands of dollars, which is just not possible for me to fork over right now, especially just for audio gear. But note that the keyword here is right now. Since I have the option to use XLR, I can upgrade in the future if I wish to, and that's a big advantage in my opinion. Also, here's the reason why I might upgrade to XLR later. Do you hear that? That's me lightly tapping the USB-C wire connecting my mic to the laptop. This sound likely won't appear if I were using an XLR cable. Now time for some quick self-promo. Please don't skip this part, I swear it's interesting. I'll provide some context. A few months ago, Discord attempted to add age verification to their app, but the backlash was so harsh they had to run it back. But they have not denied adding it at a later date. Age verification usually includes having to upload your government ID or your face to the social media platform. I dislike that a lot, so I started looking into alternatives to Discord. And in my opinion, a website called Fluxer is the best option. If you have used Discord, you will almost definitely be able to navigate Fluxer. And as much as I hate to use this comparison, Fluxer is basically a direct Discord clone. Why am I telling you this? Well, you see, it's because I created a Kuartle community server on there, and the invite link is the first line of the description. So, please join the Fluxer server if you're interested in talking to me and my community. And fun fact, there's even a Project Moon community Fluxer server on there, so join that too if you're interested. Also, there's currently no easily accessible app for mobile users, so you'll need to use the website. And no, I currently have no plans to make a Discord server. In fact, I've been actively trying to avoid using Discord. Anyways, let's move on to the next topic. If you've clicked on this video, you've probably already seen the result of it, as in the thumbnail. I bought a drawing pad recently. It plugs into your device and comes with a stylus, so you can draw directly onto your device. I'm going to talk a little about my drawing pad journey. First, let's start sometime last year, long ago. Last year, I bought a drawing pad called the MD7E. I paid around $45 for it. It was a small but reliable drawing pad that served me well. However, a few weeks ago, I somehow lost the stylus for that drawing pad. I tried to find a replacement online, but it does not seem to ship to my country, which means I had to buy a new drawing pad. So I started researching for a new drawing pad, and after using a small drawing pad for this long, I'll tell ya, size does matter. So I looked for a bigger, but still not too expensive, drawing pad. And eventually, I stumbled across a brand called Rodion. It's a Chinese brand, and their Chinese name is Hui Wang, which does not really sound like Rodion, but oh well. Anyways, I stumbled across their product called the Inspire 2. It has a small, medium, and large size. I picked up the large one in black color for around $90, which is about twice the cost of my previous drawing pad, but it is also significantly bigger now. I've been using it for a little while and it does not seem to have any issues, and I'm really liking the bigger size. Oh, right, if you looked closely at the thumbnail art, you might have noticed it looked a little grainy. Well, hopefully not, but if you did, it's because I used software called Nightshade to add that. See, Nightshade adds poison to your art. Poison for what exactly? Well, thankfully, it's for AI. Nightshade adds a poisonous layer onto your art, and if it ever gets scraped by AI crawlers and added to a dataset for the slot machines to train on, it will poison the dataset. I urge all artists to research and start using this. I currently have it on the lower settings, since higher settings really cripple your artwork. Here's the same artwork on the highest settings. Also, note that YouTube adds compression, so it might not look how I intended it to look, but it should be similar enough to get my point across. If you've been keeping up with my YouTube posts, you might have realized I'm streaming quite a lot more often now. As in, I've never streamed before, so any stream would count as a lot more often. Anyways, if you've tuned into my recent live streams, you would have already heard my voice through the new mic. And this is also a tiny self-promo to tell you guys that I'm going to be streaming semi-regularly. I've started playing and streaming Lobotomy Corp as a new player, and I will probably do the same for Library of Ruina, since since I have not played that as well. I currently have no plans to make a video on it, but it is mostly because I don't actually have the raw footage files. When I was streaming, I didn't record at the same time, but it's not because I forgot or anything, it's just that playing, streaming and recording a game at 4K at the same time is too demanding for my GPU. I could try to download the live stream files from YouTube, but all of my options either don't support 4K or have terrible bitrate or both, and from rewatching my live streams on YouTube, I can already tell it's not at full quality, and that's to be expected, I guess. YouTube has to compress it. As a general rule of thumb, what I stream is something I won't turn into a video. Also, if you're wondering why I don't have a stream chat on my stream, it's because I don't want the stream to be blocked by anything, like the stream chat. Also, my stream chat sometimes say some not so smart stuff, and I don't want that to be shown on my stream. If you tuned into my stream, you would have also realized that I streamed my Walpurgisnacht pools. I managed to get all the IDs and ego in 161 pools. How did your pools go? Tell me in the comments or on my Fluxer server. Also, on the topic of Walpurgisnacht, would you guys be interested in watching a Mirror Dungeon Extreme Mode trio video? Specifically with the Dawn Office IDs. The 3 Dawn Office IDs seem to have interactions with each other. Originally, I wanted to do 3 Dawn Office duos, but I feel like you guys will get bored of it. But 3 IDs also starts feeling like a team now, so I'm not sure. Please tell me your thoughts. And about my YouTube posts. You've probably also seen that I bought the paid version of DaVinci Resolve called DaVinci Resolve Studio. The base version already has most of the features that a new editor will need, but the studio version just adds some nice quality of life stuff and a few extra features. Oh, and also supports video resolution up to 32K and 120 FPS. I'll try to put into scale just how big 32K is. All screen sizes mentioned in this video are in the 16:9 aspect ratio. Here's a representation of a 1080p screen, which is one of the most common display resolutions. Here's a 4K screen, which is 4 times of a 1080p screen. That is the actual resolution of the video file. And here's an 8K screen, 4 times of a 4K screen and 16 times of a 1080p screen. 8K is the max resolution currently supported by YouTube. And here's a 16K screen, 4 times of an 8K screen, 16 times of a 4K screen, and 64 times of a 1080p screen. And finally, here's a 32K screen, 4 times of a 16K screen, 16 times of an 8K screen, 64 times of a 4K screen, and 256 times of a 1080p screen. I'm not even gonna mention the pixel count because that is likely way too big for you guys to visualize. As you may have realized, the horizontal roll was always a little under the number I said. 4K is under 4000 pixels across, and 32K is well over 1000 pixels off. I don't know why it's still called 32K, but oh well. So yeah, hopefully now you should understand how overkill 32K is. You would need a 16:16 grid of 16:9 1080p screens to reach 32K. I don't think there's a single computer system that's even able to render that many pixels at once, not to mention gaming on it. Including tax, I spent around $316 on the studio version. It's a perpetual license, which means I can use it indefinitely, unlike a certain other company's products. But this video isn't actually made in the paid version, since I am uncertain if my video files will transfer properly once I upgrade to the studio version. I wanted to avoid having to deal with that, and I decided to stick to the free version until the video is complete. But the next video will be made on the studio version. Hey, quick editor's note, I did upgrade to the paid version a few days after writing the script, and since you're seeing this video, it means nothing went wrong. Thanks for being competent, Black Magic Design. And also, I'm starting to lose my voice, so sorry if my voice doesn't sound consistent. I don't know what happened. Don't expect too different of an editing style though. I still need some time to learn all the new features, and flashy edits isn't really my style to begin with. Now it's time for the Art School Sidebar! Whoa! This covers week 12 and 13 of Art School. Alright, firstly, I'm starting to be taught game development. The game engine we are using is called Unity. I don't think I've told this story yet, so I'll do so now. Ever since young, I was always interested in making games. I first started making games on a website called Scratch, in my single-digit ages. I followed a few tutorials on YouTube and managed to make a simple platformer, escape maze, and tower defense game. However, I will not be revealing my Scratch username, because if anyone called me that now, I would spontaneously combust on the spot. Ever since joining Scratch, I kept coming across a scratcher called Griffpatch. Scratcher is used to describe a Scratch user, by the way. His games were genuinely very well made. I remember playing a 2D Minecraft game he made, and that game is surprisingly fleshed out. Then, he also started making YouTube videos and tutorials for Scratch. I just checked after many years, and his YouTube channel is now sitting at 500,000 subscribers. That's impressive considering how niche his channel is. At around 11 or 12 years old, I learned about the existence of Unity and really wanted to try it, so I downloaded it and started messing around with it. I learned about it from a friend who watched a Unity game developer and content creator called Danny, but he seems to have stopped uploading for quite a while, and apparently some time ago he created an alternate account called VediNet, which is literally Danny Dev, but reversed. I heard Danny was bullied off the internet by his fans asking him when his game called Carlson would come out, which is truly unfortunate. Anyways, I started looking for Unity tutorials, and I stumbled across a YouTuber called Brackies. He made quite a lot of tutorials, and I heard he was relatively well liked in the community, so I started following his tutorials. I believe it taught us how to make an infinite runner, kinda like Subway Surfers, but I think I got stuck at the second or third tutorial. I think the Visual Studio Code version he used in the tutorial was too old, so when I tried copying the code into the game, it told me that I was using an old code format or something, and asked if I wanted to reformat it. I pressed yes, but it seems to have done nothing or broken something, and I just gave up. Yep, I'm serious, I just gave up. But you have to understand that I was a child back then, so I really did not know what to do. And then a few years later, I heard Unity hired a new CEO. A CEO from EA. Yes, that EA, Electronic Arts, the game company famous for microtransactions and being money hungry. Needless to say, the CEO immediately started attempting to milk the devs for extra money, but people don't like it when you do that. So a lot of developers stopped using Unity and moved to an open source engine like Godot or Godot, however you pronounce it, but it isn't important. Anyways, many devs moved there, and the current Unity is just a shell of what it was many years ago. I wanted to learn Godot in school, but it makes sense why Unity is taught, since Unity, despite the controversies, is still a very popular game engine, and everything is relatively well documented. Anyways, now I'm learning Unity again, and I am determined to not lose to Unity this time. Although I can't lose either, because if I do, it means failing the subject, which is not exactly good. We have to make a platformer game for our final submission. I'll share some gameplay footage when I'm done with the game. Alright, I think that's all for the Art School Sidebar. A few days ago, I saw a YouTube video reviewing an art and animation software called Umoupen. I hope that's how you pronounce it, and I was immediately impressed by how fleshed out it was for an in-development software. So I decided to spend $20 to buy the software to support the developer. If you guys want to watch the review, I've linked it in the description, but I truly see the potential.
어미집이 성공한 거야? 잠깐, 그럼 이럴 때가 아니지. 돌아가서 마에스트로 씨에게 말해줘야 해. 이 복도 어딘가에 모든 손가락이 탐낼 만한 걸작이 있다는 걸.
This was quite a lucky mirror dungeon run. I managed to get 2 secret bosses, and I even managed to get over 10,000 damage quite a few times. Thanks for watching, I really appreciate your view. I hope to work YouTube full time, so please like and subscribe if you like my content. If you have any feedback, please leave it in the comments or send it to me through my Gmail. Oh, right, this video is about the Ring Fauvist identities. Let's see, what can I say about them? I mean, they're pretty good, I guess. Ring Rodion can sometimes replace Princess Rodion in bleed teams. Ring Meursault is probably Meursault's best sinking ID because his only competition are IDs from many seasons ago. And that's about all I have to say about them.